farmers, I've gone down here. I'm going to purchase this little farm down here, and this is the one I showed you in the previous video, Hidden Gems, starting farms, down in the lower left corner of the Elmcreek map, sorry. I'm going to buy this and set it up. Now, I dumped some money in so I can buy the farm and set this place up for future videos, but this is going to be our farm, our cattle and dairy operation down here. But I wanted to show you what this thing looked like before I destroy these buildings down here. Let's see if I can get I can't get my view to go to ground level. But anyway, so it's got the house, couple little barns, a silo. So this is what it looks like. It's just right here on this little corner. Here's what it looks like in ground view. Last video across the corner over there, when I was actually demonstrating things on my actual game, because my actual game I play, this is my farm. And I created a new game save for these videos because I was tired of going back and fixing everything I destroyed when I was showing you guys how to do things. So we're going to build the feedlot operation and dairy operation down here. But I wanted to show you what this thing looked like down here before I destroy it all. So you guys can kind of get an idea what this place looks like. It's another little hidden gem of a spot. It's down here in this lower left corner. It's basically field 60. You get 2 fields with it. I bought this other land up here for future demonstration purposes. I'll show you how to do some logging over here maybe later. But yeah, it's down here in the lower left. Here's our current farm up here that we just built in that big long ass video, 2 hours that I did showing you how to start a farm from scratch up here. I apologize for that. That was a long video, but you know, I got on a roll. All right, so coming back down here, field 60. We're gonna go into our construction menu, and I'm gonna delete this sucker. Now, you know, I told you about passive income, getting started, and investing some money to give you some income while you're waiting on fields and whatnot. We talked in the last video, we built those greenhouses and the beehive. So yeah, so we're gonna put in a couple rental houses for our fictitious. Oh, there's another collectible. We'll collect that. 9 more plows to be found. Yahoo! There's another one over here. Oh, look at that. Cow. Yep. The banjo music. Alright, so, yeah. So, you know, this is some grass. This is what do we got in here? This is oats. No, yeah, oats. So anyway, let's go ahead and put in a couple rental houses for our farm laborers that supposedly are going to work for us. I'm not going to make anything too fancy because, frankly, the rental come is the same. Let's see, that's in farmhouses. Hold on just a second. I need to go into production generators. Alright, so production generators, that's where you find these things. And while we're talking about this is all kinds of different things you can do to generate income. You know, for $3,000 you can put a gas station, basically propane bottles. You can put those downtown. I mean, you can put them anywhere, but if you want to be realistic, stick them downtown where people are, so you know they can rent them. You can buy a windmill, generates power. It's automatically sold. There are solar panels, other wind turbines. Radio tower, if you got the 26 grand, this is one heck of a income generator. 67,000 almost $68,000 a month. The $32,000 one, and I don't know why the rusty radio tower is only $58,000, but it costs more. Not sure, but spend that 25 grand and get you some really good income. All right, Colonial House. This is a rental house. Gives you $1,800 a month. You know, and solar sheds. All right, so here's all these rental houses. There's a bunch of them in here. I have actually created entire neighborhoods of rental houses in some off-beaten spots. There's another radio tower that does $132,000 a month. Here's the oil well. We can talk about oil production because that's always a good one. Police station. Even putting a police station in gives you money. A hotel, some apartment buildings, and more wind generators. All right, so we're going to stick a couple houses in here. We're going to go with the cheap ones, just because I don't want to spend a butt-ton of money for these guys. But we'll put it back over here where this old house was, and one other farm dude needs a house with a garage. So we'll put that over here where the other shed was. Alright. So, yeah. And if you want to be realistic, you know, and so it looks cool or looks fine, if you go into decoration, others, I have a placeable vehicle mod on here. Cars are in here somewhere. Here they go. And you can stick a couple cars in here. Dude's wife's got a minivan. This other guy, they got a car. Alright, so, and I'm not going to worry about landscaping because I really don't give a crap what this looks like around here. Hey, if you don't like it, go find another job in another house. Alright, so, here we go. Let's put in dairy barn. So, oh yeah, cattle. I'm gonna scroll. I always like scrolling all the way to the left and then working my way back. So you got different ones. There's a cow pasture, 30 cows. Takes various types of feed. The one I like for a dairy barn, there's one for 45, but I like the ones with, there's some mods, but they've got with feeding robot. And there's a mod out there, I think Farmer Cop did it with the feeding robot, but yeah, it's a pretty decent mod. Now we're gonna put this cow barn over here in these two pastures, because it's pretty good size. All right, so, and I did. Okay, I want to make sure I didn't block the door here. Yeah, okay, hold on. We're gonna sell this. I'm gonna move it over. There we go. You know what? We'll even gonna go back over here somewhere. Give us some more room. Put in silos and whatnot. All right. So, let me go back to ground view here. Let's do a quick walkthrough of this cow barn. I really should turn my running on speed on faster. We'll start over here on the left. And if you notice, because this ground slopes, when I planted this thing, it made flat spots, so I'd have to come back and smooth that out. All right, here is your animal. Now this is where I talked about in another video. If you have another pen, say you started out with a smaller cow barn and you're moving up to this one, you can go in here and move animals. I don't have any animals currently, but this would be where I would move it from one barn to my new bigger barn, for example. And one of the things you can do, you know, maybe I had a small barn in this location. I could build a temporary pen in one of my fields across the road, for say for example, you know, tear up the crops. But if I'm between crops, I can build that pen over there temporarily, and I can move the animals to that pen, sell my old building, build this new bigger building, and then move the animals from the old pen to this one, and then sell that pen off. So yeah, or if you have a feedlot, you can move them to your feedlot, and we will build a feedlot here in a little bit. All right, so that's what this is. This is also where we would buy our animals, and this is a whole nother. This could almost be a video itself. But you have milk cows, which are the brown Swiss and the Holsteins, and then you have the beef cattle. Okay, so the beef cattle do not produce milk. These are cattle that you would stick in, say, a feedlot or a cow pasture that you build, and you fatten them up and then sell them. I want to say Farmer Cop did a video. I can't remember who it was. Did a comparison on the best times to sell, and I'm 90% sure it was Farmer Cop, but his analysis is that at 27 months for both beef and milk cows, they no longer go up in value. So at 27 months, beef cattle start selling them. Milk cattle, they don't go up in value anymore, but you know, if you're buying milk cattle, you're buying them for the milk. So even at 27 months, from what he said, they still produce the same amount of milk. So dairy cattle, you don't necessarily have to sell at the 27-month mark. You know, they just won't get they won't gain any more value after 27 months, but they will still produce milk. So that's always good. So beef cattle, yeah, 27 months, sell those suckers off. For what you're putting into them and what you're getting back out of it, it's very little in terms of profit. So at 27 months, that's your target point to go ahead and make the maximum amount of profit. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to get some. Now there are 3 stages. You can buy the calf, and they gestate at 10 months and they reach puberty at 18 months. So they won't produce milk until 18 months. But it's really good to have a variety, because as your older ones, and we'll just buy 10, as your older ones get that, you know, reach that mark and start dying off, you know, they'll eventually die as they get too old. You kind of want to have ones that are aging up to replace them. Now here, this heifer, you got calf, heifer, and a cow. That's it, and that is a realistic terminology. Heifers are usually young yearlings, and this is 12 months. So we're going to buy a few of those. We're going to buy 10 of those, and we're going to buy some cows. We're going to go ahead and get 10 of those. Alright, and just for the hell of it, just because in real life, if you got a cow herd, you're going to have a bull. And there's a ratio. For so many cows, you have so many bulls, but our bull is a stud, so it doesn't matter how many cattle we have, we're going to have one bull. So I do that just because you got to have a bull with the cows. Alright, so if we go over here to our fence, you'll see our cows. There's the calves. There's our bull laying down with a couple of his children hanging out with dad. And some mama's kind of watching out to make sure dad doesn't teach him dirty tricks. This is the milk room where your milk is stored. You can offload it manually. I'll just go in here and take a look. I'm not sure what this little room is for, but if you squeeze back here, these doors do open. It goes around over there. I always get collisions trying to get there. I guess I'm broad-shouldered or something. I don't know. But yeah. So this is what the inside looks like. Now, this is where you can manually dump in hay, straw, silage, mineral feed, all that stuff. You do need to dump in straw, and we'll go over that here in a second, for health reasons. Now, this is where the slurry is. This is where the cow pee comes out. You can load it up in a container. Now, if I want manure, and manure is a sellable product, so we need to put a manure pit in. So I'm going to go into the construction menu. Now, one thing about manure pits, if you have, before we go do that, I'll show you anything else. We're going to stick our feedlot in here. So, construction and animals, cows. There is a buildable feedlot mod. There it is. It's not very big. And we're going to put it over here. Actually, you know what? Yeah, because that road's there. I want to put it over here. And I'm going to turn it this way because it's a natural road. And we're going to stick it right. Yeah, we'll stick it right. Alright, so that's a feedlot. Now, it is nothing more than a set of feed bunks. That grid, you can turn that off. We'll show you how to do that in a second. But you do have to put a fence around it. So there are fences for that. So you go into decoration, fences, and you scroll over here, and it is buildable feedlot pack by Schultz Modding. That's the mod for the feedlot mod. But I go over here, and you start with the fence on the, as you're facing the feed bunks, you start over here by the paw. And the reason I do that is so, if you look, you can see that the fence is on the outside of the post. If you go this way, the fence is on the inside. It just looks better, in my opinion. Alright, that's just my opinion. Do it however you want, whatever's comfortable with you. Now, there's always, sometimes there's an issue getting that to link up. Alright, so now your feedlot is good. Now, how do you get the damn things in there? Well, you got the movable thing, but if you want to be realistic, you know, we want things to be as realistic as, look as realistic as we possibly can. Actually, whoops. Decoration fences. Alright, so you click on the demolish button, and I'm going to demolish one small section here. Get down to it. There. Now what I'm going to do is, while I'm in decoration, I'm going to go to others. Part of that mod pack, they stick a, and it's hard to find because I got so much crap in here, placeables, a loading chute that you can back up cattle in. I don't think it actually works. I never actually tested it. But if you got a feedlot, you got to have some way of getting them off the semi into the lot. So let me find it here. It's, like I said, some of these placeable packs are just huge, and they got a huge amount of stuff. Security stations. There it is. Alright, so best way to do this is what I found. I stick it just outside, and then I go back to my fences. Wherever they went. Fences. Where are you? Buildable feedlot fence. Okay, wait. There's a gate. Alright. So I'm going to put a gate in here real quick, just because. The gate's a pain in the butt to begin with, but you hit the post and it swings. Now, you see it's open and there's another post. So where that post is at is where the actual gate is. So I need to demolish another section. Then I put my gate in, like about here. And now I got a gate. So now I go to my fences. Buildable fences, where are you? Past the walls. Right there. So I'm going to go in here and click on there. And I'm going to put another little section in there. Maybe. Come on. Well, sometimes it works. Sometimes it's a pain in the butt. There we go. Alright, so now I got a gate. Probably better make sure that gate works. Alright, that grid. The exclamation point, if you just come over to the exclamation point and click on it, it takes that grid away. Alright, so now there's my gate. Okay, go opens in. That's good. That's what we want. Alright. So, we'll leave it open for now. Alright, let's go back to our fences and close this thing off. And then we have a realistic looking pin. There we go. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't like it. Yeah, it goes. Alright, there we go. Alright, now we're realistic. Alright. The only thing is, we can't get in there. I put the gate in the wrong spot. Alright, so, let's delete that. I'm an idiot. That's part of the fun stuff with this game, is just playing with it and realizing what you do. Let's see. Okay. Gotta adjust it. Ah! Let's go this way. Put our post there, and there we go. Now we got a gate. Alright, so now we can actually get in here. Alright, so now I can get in. Alright, got you cattle, get your asses on the truck. Alright, so we'll close our, we'll leave our gate open. We don't have any cattle. Well, no, we'll close it. I don't want the cattle coming up. We're gonna buy some. Alright. The other thing I do to make it a little more realistic, even though they don't need water, go to production. Scroll all the way over to the left. Generator. Factories. I have to find it. I think it's under factories. Water. Generators. It's under generators. Wind turbine. There's a water one somewhere. I gotta find it. Here's under factories. Somewhere. That's a problem. That's one of the bad things about the way Giants does stuff, is sometimes you gotta look through and figure out where the hell it's all at. Alright, I don't think it's in factories. Maybe it's in selling points. I don't think it's in selling points. These are all points. I think it's in generators. Maybe not. Oh, you know what? I think it's in building. I think it's in tools. Somewhere. Maybe. Containers. Yeah, okay, container. Here we go. There's a water tower. Let's see if we can find. There it is. That's what I'm looking for. Alright, so I rotate that in here. And now my cattle realistically have water. Alright, so one last thing to do is paint this thing. Go in here to animal mud. Paint the animal mud in here so it looks like a feedlot. Yeah, we got some spillage on the outside. That's okay. Sure. Why not? Alright. So, that is our feedlot. Auto-save. Alright, so 2 ways we can add animals. We can go back around over here like we did before to our icon, or you can just go in here to go to your farmland and go to animals, and you have a cow pen but you don't have any animals, so you had to buy some animals. So I was wrong. You have to go here to buy them. Maybe there's another way, but I don't know. Alright, so we're going to go to, you got different types of beef cattle, Limousine, Angus. Now there are a lot of other cattle in real life for that, but we will get us 10 calves. We'll get us 10 heifers. Now, realistically, if we were starting our starter farm, we wouldn't have the money for this, but this is for demonstration purposes only. When we go back up to the other farm for our starting our farm from scratch video, I will take all of our money out and set it back to the 19,000 we had left over. Alright, I need 1 bull. Well, we'll go 2 bulls, because this feedlot can take up to 1,000. Oh crap, I just put cow. No, Angus. Okay, I did. Alright, so yeah, we're going with Angus. Alright, there they are. Angus cattle roaming the feedlot across from the cattle barn, from the cow barn, the dairy barn. Alright, so to feed these guys, we'll go back over, we'll come back to the feedlot. Let me finish up with the where I was at. Alright, so we were talking about the slurry. We need a new manure heap. Now, one of the things I discovered, you don't need a manure heap for multiple animal containment. Let's just call it that, for lack of a better word. You only need 1 manure heap. So if you go into building silos, you find yourself a pretty good manure pit. That's a huge manure pit. One that big, 100,000 liters. It'll fill up pretty fast, but I wonder if I can find a bigger one. I don't need 400,000. Let's see if we can find one that's just a little bit bigger. Let's see, there's a bunker silo. Manure heap, 500. That's all. Let's use 2. I think it's like a 200. That's 4 million. Don't need that. Alright, well, let's just go back and buy this one first. What was that first one? We'll just buy this 100,000. If we have to empty it faster, that's fine. Alright, it just needs to be placed just anywhere, and manure from both locations will start spawning in the manure heap, and then you can scoop it out with a tractor. There is an auto load function if you have an auto loading vehicle, or if you use an auto load mod, you can just pull up the truck. I like using one of the Phoenix trucks that I showed you in one of my previous videos with a tipper on it, and but you just pull up and you load it up. Alright, so now the barn has a built-in slurry containment storage, and you simply unload it from the barn. You don't have to do anything else. The feedlot does not have that capability, so you have to put in a liquid slurry containment, and I like using the underground ones because they are not very obtrusive. This is a big, huge one. There are smaller ones somewhere. I'm not going to go looking for them. We're just going to put this one down for now. Alright, so stick them in there. And yeah, it's close to water, but hey, it sucks to be a cow. But you would take your slurry tank, or if you want to spread it, and like I said in a previous video, one of the other guys, did a comparison, and it takes a huge amount of slurry and manure to get the nitrogen levels up on the fields. So just better to sell it off to the biogas plants. So to haul this stuff off, you know, you're going to need some kind of slurry tank. If you want to go big or go home, you know, there are some self-propelled slurry tanks in here. Let me see. You know, you got the Hydrotrike. It's a, you know, that's what it looks like. And it loads slurry and hauls slurry. And it has two sprayers that you can attach. You can buy separately and attach to the back of it and spray on your fields. Crap. One I like, just because I like the way it looks, it's this Oxbow. It's a little more expensive, but man, it hauls butt. So if you're hauling from long distance, yeah, I like it. Now we talked about the Icera Pro, you know, and the nitrogen levels on determining nitrogen levels. This has the same thing. It also has a John Deere manure sensing. It will detect nitrogen in your manure, and you know, it guarantees that you get a nice spread of manure over the field versus just kind of just throwing it out the back. But we'll go ahead and buy it. Why not? You know, crap. You know what? My store delivery is up on the other farm, so we're going to sell this off. I'll move store delivery down here for now, since we're working this area. Now we'll buy it. Slurry tanks. Yeah, we'll turn this on. Why not? Buy. Now, I'm not going to buy the sprayer. It's just like any other sprayer. You put it on, you unfold it, you drive around the field. It's got a long boom. But yeah, this is what it looks like. What it looks like in the cab. You know, nothing fancy. So you literally just drive up here, and it loads just like any other liquid. We don't have anything in here, so you know, you notice it said you first need to fill the tool. There's nothing in the tank, so there's nothing to fill. So let's go back to the cow barn and talk about this little area here. So this is the self-feeding robot. It will feed the animals several times a day. You need silage, you need whole crop, or you know, grass silage, some type of silage. Now, you can't mix the two types of silage, chaff silage. It's got to be one size. So straw and hay. All right. So I'm going to quickly here, real quick, do a little landscaping because this bump is going to cause issues later. Round this off. And go ahead and paint it. I like things to look neat. And if you can't get it to go like underneath there, just make the thing bigger. Yeah, we want to cover that crop, otherwise we'll have crops growing. It's a commercial operation, why not? Alright, so we already covered the crop over there. And yeah, I want to cover up over here. Yeah. Alright, so now, let's do that toward too. Okay, so we got our feedlot and our cow barn. And I just told you about how this is. So I'm going to do something. I'm going to cheat to fill these up just so you guys can see how it works. I'm going to go buy my favorite semi that I have. Where's he at? The Roadrunner. set him up with 1800 horsepower. Of course, autosave. I should shut that off for these videos, but I keep forgetting. Fenders, long base, or none. I like the long base fenders. I don't know why. Let's find tire. I guess it really doesn't matter. The tires are the tires. We'll just leave it as. I like putting the bull bar on the front. Hey, it's a big semi. Why not? Front spotlights. You got two large ones. You can change that. I'll put some small ones on the rear. You know, top large. Why not? Beacon size. You know, that's beacons on here. Attachers. You can actually, what I like about this semi is you can put a rear trailer. So if you want to pull, like, say, a big 53-foot flatbed with something on it, this gives you another option to pull trailers around. Not sure what the shadows and rotate is, but exhaust you can change. I haven't looked to test it, but you can change the color of the freaking smoke. And I haven't played with this yet, but I noticed it the other day. So what is, you know, we'll leave it to standard. Radiator fan. They actually got this thing in here so you can change the fan color. Black, main color, design color, none. We'll do silver so you can see it. Decals, you can keep them on there. I don't use the GPS on the semis because that's for field stuff. All right, so we're gonna buy this guy. Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna get a big trailer, and this is my favorite trailer for hauling grain. Just about anything, really. It hauls damn near. I've yet to find anything it does not haul. It is the. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see, double hoppers. The Wilson trailer by Venom Mods. This is a 53-foot super hopper and 400 meters cubed, whatever that is. I went through that the other day. You can change your types. I put in these HDO duals because they look a little heavier duty. I throw in a toolbox. Why not? You gotta have a toolbox if you get stuck. Mud flaps, you know, front. I do all, so I got mud flaps on front and back. Special editions. I like the John Deere just because it looks cool. Attachers, you can put on a rear hitch on this. So you can pull another trailer if you want. But this, I'm telling you, this capacity, just the standard capacity is a lot. But I like going upgraded. You can go to Unreal. You know, I mean, it's a huge amount. Upgraded, to me, is realistic because, you know, you can upgrade your trailers to hold just a little bit more. So I accept that as realistic. Upgraded trailer. And I like putting the hopper color, that kind of John Deere green. Alright, so there's our trailer. We're going to buy this thing. Alright, so let's get out of here. Let's get in our truck. When you do store delivery, you got to make sure you don't get it too close to a building. If you buy too many things at once, they'll wind up half the building and half out, and then you got to sell it, buy it. Might be too far off. Yeah, too far off. The other reason I like this truck is the sound effects. There we go. All right, let's open our cover. Now, I'm going to use the easy development controls here, just because, and I talked about this a little bit, but you got your player, you do things with your player, you know, you're running multiplier, turn that on so I run a little faster. This is the menu I'm looking for. Nope. This is where you can spawn stuff. I can spawn pallets of different things onto the ground. This is a huge sheet. So if you're just ganking around and you want to figure out how stuff works, you can use this and play with it. But we'll go into the vehicles tab. I'm going to fill unit 1. We're going to fill that with, we're going to start with whole cut silage. Okay, we're gonna fill it. Now, I'm gonna remove the background so you can see what I'm talking about. Alright, it won't let me. Alright, so you can see I filled unit 1, it filled the front half. So on this trailer, it's not just this trailer, but a lot of trailers have, when you're dumping, you have two. It took me a while to figure this out. I was like, why is it only dumping half the trailer? Why do you need to dump both of them? Well, the trailers are divided into 2 units. Alright, well, I filled unit 1, I filled unit 2. Alright, so now our trailer is full of silage, okay? So you got to remember that, and I'll show you what I'm dumping here. Go right over here. And it should be an unload. Oh, you know what? I got to use a dump truck on the cow farm. Alright, but we'll go over here and use this on feedlot. So, this is, you can take any trailer or truck that will dump or tip. If you got a little feed wagon that you want to pull behind because it's cheap, forage wagons work real well. Alright. As you get close, now you can see down here at the bottom, it popped up. So I'm going to pull a little forward so it catches that second hopper. But you can see it's dumping. And as it dumps, you can see the bunk starts to fill up. And I'll show you in the production menu how you can tell how much you need to put in here. It takes a lot. Alright. So now my first hopper is done. Alright. So, control I unload here. It's not showing up here, but if you hit your U key a couple times. Okay, we're not going to. There we go. Alright, so I hit the U key to go between the hoppers. Alright, so now I can dump the second one. As you can see, the bunk is filling up some more. Alright, I'm not going to completely fill this. I'm just going to put some in here so you can see what I'm talking about. Alright, so let's go to our production menu and you can see, I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about with the silage. So in the cattle pen, I just click on one just to make sure I'm in it. We just unloaded silage. That's a base food. Roughage is going to be your straw. Now I created a cheat sheet because I can't simply remember everything. But for base food, you're talking whole crop silage, maize silage, or grass silage. So base food is your silage, any one of those 3 silages. Roughage is either hay or you can use alfalfa hay. Now alfalfa hay, you know, it's there, you can bale it, you can do it, you know, whatever. But the best thing to do when you're feeding these, when you're having a feedlot or a cow pen operation, is not to bale it. Because if you bale it, then you got to grind it. It's simply use a forage wagon with a pickup, pick that stuff up. And yeah, you have to drive back and forth with the forage wagon. And I'll show you here in a second. But let me finish going over this. So moisture food, potato cuts, sugar beet cuts, beet pulp, and power food. Oh wait, sorry, that was chicken. Yeah, that was cows. All right, I get chickens and cows mixed up. All right, moisture, potato cut, sugar beet cuts, beet pulp. Sugar beet cuts is nothing more than sugar beets that have been cut up using one of the tools to make them beet cuts. So power food is mineral feed, grain grist, wheat, and that's where you take the wheat and grind it up with a grist mill. Soybeans or canola. All right. So as you can see, we have our total capacity and effectiveness. Right now, you know, it's in red because we don't have a whole hell of a lot in here. But this is also where you look to see how much milk you got if you're in the milk barn, how much straw they have left, how much slurry is in your slurry tank. Manure tank is a visible thing, so you have to look at that, and then productivity goes up. So now straw. Straw is important because it has a direct correlation to the health. If you do not put straw in the pen, their health will not go to 100%. And if you're doing beef cattle, you want that health to be 100% or you won't get full price for them. All right. So now, if you're out there Googling stuff, you'll see a lot of things like total mixed rations. And people are saying, gotta have total mixed rations, gotta have total mixed rations. That's all good and fine. TMR, is a perfect feed, but you don't need it. Again, I think it's Farmer Cop. And if it wasn't, I'm sorry, modders, whoever YouTubers that did the comparison. I'm sorry, I can't remember. Farmer Cop always sticks in my mind. Maybe it's because I watch a lot of his videos. But whoever it was, did the comparison on TMR compared to just grass, just filling these up with whole crop silage, hay and potato cut and mineral feed. Just putting that in there. And that's basically what TMR is anyway. The difference is by direct dumping this in here, you don't have to mix it. It mixes itself and it's in there. So it's basically TMR anyway. Alright, so that is how you check to see what all you need in here. So now we do put in base food. So we talked, roughage. So I'm going to dump a load of roughage and a load of straw, and then we'll come back to this so you can see what I'm talking about. So we'll go back to our cheat menu. We'll go in here, hay, fill 1 and fill 2. We'll dump those. I think I was on the rear, on the rear hopper. And you notice that the bunk will start filling up as we put more stuff in this. This is kind of also a good visible way to tell how much food is left, because if this bunk is empty, they're completely out of food. If they still got food in there, you're still good to go. You still got some in there. All right, so let's change our front hopper with the U key. Dump that. All right, you can see it's filling up again down here at the bottom. Slowly trickling in by my cursor down here. Alright, so that's good. Alright, so now we're going to go back to our cheat. We're going to add straw. Now the straw does not go in the bunk. So where the straw will go, we have to put a little bit more of it in here before, more than one load before it'll start showing up. But where it shows up is out here in the lot. And what it basically is they're bedding in the feedlot. A lot of feedlots, if you ever get a chance to go look at a real feedlot, they'll have a mound of dirt. Probably, okay, now our straw's starting to show up here in the middle of the lot. You can see that there. And it's growing as we put more in there. We'll do one more load just so you can see the visual effects. But in real life, they put a mound in the feedlot. We had a feedlot. We ran about 400 feeder cattle through the winter. We had 3 lots. We could run about 50 to 75 in one, 100, 200 in the other. We had a big lot, little lot, I don't remember. But we had a big mound in the middle, and because this gets sloppy, this one thing is different here, in the game, manure and slurry is automatically put in containers. In real life, that just sits in the pen. And just to give you an example, my girls, when they were younger, we had 3 daughters. They were always griping. I was just like, hey, when I was your age, I was knee deep in cow shit. And they were all like, yeah, whatever, Dad. Now you can kind of see the hay, straw in the lot, give them a place to sit. So that, they got bedding now. We're going to shut this down. I'm just going to leave it sit where it's at. But going back to my story, in real life, you have to manually go in with a tractor and a scoop and haul this stuff out so that the cows aren't always constantly in, knee deep in their own shit, because they can develop foot rot, and foot rot is not a good thing for animals. But we always had a mound for them to sleep on, and but anyway, girls were like, yeah, whatever. And they went over to my dad's house one time, and he had an aerial picture of our farm. And they're like, hey, Grandpa, is that you on the tractor? And their dad's like, yeah. Who's that walking behind the tractor in all the cow poop? That's your dad. And he was younger than you are. So he really was knee deep in cow shit? Yeah. Your dad, his job was to level out the bunks as I dumped the feed. So yeah, in real life, straw isn't put in pins. I don't want to get too far into this, but there's usually a mound in here. So this straw that we put in the game acts as a place for them to lay down where they're not laying in their own waste. All right, so get out of my truck. I got out in the bunk. Hello, calves. All right, so I'm going to show you how to fill this, and then I'm going to end this video because I don't want it to be too long. And of course, I need to go in here and landscape this into a slope so we don't drive off to it. So, best way to fill this, you can take a wagon, like a forage wagon, and dump in here, or a truck. I'm just going to use the truck real quick just because it's a lot easier than buying a tractor and a wagon. But I'm going to go in here, and I showed you this in my favorite vehicles video, which I just posted here like an hour ago. Max, I went too far. It's a Phoenix. Here we go. The Phoenix TLX. It's very adaptable. I have not experimented with all these different, in these versions. These first few versions, it's a regular semi. It will pull regular trailers. When you get into this rigid tag axle, when you get into the rigid part of it, those are for specific truck beds. And for what I haven't experimented with the long ones to see what all they are. The rigid X2 is what you really need for the beds we're going to talk about. I'll boost the engine up just because wheel setup. I'll put on some heavy duty, and then we'll just, and I'll go ahead and put the lights on because maybe we'll show you it. And I do my favorite bumper. Alright, so mirror, everything else I leave standard. We'll leave it black just because, we'll buy this thing. Alright, so it's in our shop. I'm going to go back. Now, I remember I talked about going into combinations. So I'm going to get this dumper. Okay, and I want in real capacity. Yeah, and okay, so I don't have a choice. It's either or. I'm going to go ahead for this for demonstration purposes, just so I can put a lot in here, so we don't have to do multiple trips. I'm going to do Unreal. Yeah, whatever. And put on a foldable. Sure, why not? All right, buy this. All right. So now we got it. Whoa! That's set 5 times speed. Oh, start the engine. And back in here, like I showed in my other video. Open the cover. We'll drive down here. Silage first. I definitely got to smooth that out. Alright, we'll go to our cheat menu. Okay. When you see this, if you ever go in here and it says fill unit 1, unit 2, you see this, that means you've got the truck selected. Alright, so hitting the G key on these things with separate beds, you have to hit the G key to get the bed itself. So now I got the bed selected. Go in here and I can fill it and go whole silage, row crop silage. There we go. All right. Whoop, why didn't it fill? Oh, it's got some in it. Oh, there it is. I didn't go up high. Okay, so because we have the unreal capacity, it's not filling it up. All right, so we got 46,000 liters. That's only 5%. I should have just stayed with the other one. All right, so I've backed up. Now you see I've got the unloading icon. So dump it. Let's fill it again. You can see in the pin, there's our whole crop silage. Now we'll put in some hay. I don't have anything loaded, so the icon didn't show up. We'll back up here. Go in here. We'll throw some hay in there. Whoop, I gotta do straw. I backed up into the straw. Alright, so let's go ahead and unload our straw. You notice our icon showed up. Look at this straw filled up. Alright, so we're filled up to capacity farther than we're going to do. I don't need any more, so I'm going to click empty it. There it's empty. Alright, so now we'll back up into over here in the hay. We'll add some hay. Oh, I got it empty. Ah! Alright, now we got hay. And it fills. Alright, so one of the things about this, I'll just park these here for now. One of the things about this is throughout the day, I think at the top of the hour, this little bucket grabber will go through and it'll grab a bucket of silage, come over and dump it into this robot, self-propelled little mixer. And it'll go to each one of these bins and drop it in here. And then it will come out this door. I don't think I can open the door. Yeah, I can open the door. But it'll drive around by itself and come in here and dump. Now, I see something that's going to cause a problem right away. Because I placed this so close to this road, I talked about this in another video. If you can kind of see, let me squat down here. You can kind of see where that road, it looks like there's two layers. So walking over it doesn't do anything, but driving over that wall, it will be a bump. Now you can really see it here. So I'm going to have to fix that. We'll do that some other time. But there's a pretty good way of viewing it. You can kind of see. That's going to cause issues. We'll fix it. Now, if we go into the production menu here, I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Oops. Production menu, farmland, production menu. Where are we at? All right. So we've got our, where are we at? Oh, wrong menu. Cattle menu. All right. So in our cow barn with feeding robot, you can see there's nothing in here yet because the automated robot has not gone through and placed any food in here yet. Straw. The cow barn needs straw. So you have to go in, and the big semi truck is the best because if you use a dump truck in here, it hits the roof. Or a forage wagon or any of the wagons, but you got to put straw in there and a lot of it. The other thing I do is I go ahead and I dump in with the trailer silage and you know, the hay, sugar beet cuts. Mineral feed, you just dump on the ground right here by this mineral feed sign, and it's added to the barn. You can do it in bulk, or you can buy the pallets of it. Really, the only way I've figured it out is to buy the pallets. I haven't been able to figure out how to buy it in bulk yet. But you just drop a pallet in there, and it'll take them off the pallet and put it in there. So it's important when you do your dairy barn that you also go in and dump all hay, silage, and straw in the main building as well, because this is just for the feeder robot. It only dumps a little bit in. It will not fill. It will not just keep going until this is full. So it just takes once an hour. It's a maintainer of the food. So you got to fill the barn first, and especially that straw, so they have bedding. And then, of course, once you put the straw in, you'll get the manure, and that'll go over into our manure pit. All right. So we're going to leave it at there. Next video, what we'll do is we'll build a couple grain silos over here with the bunker silo, and we'll drop some straw in there so you can see how that works. All right, guys, I appreciate you. Kansas Farmer Guy. We'll see you on the flip side. If you like what you see, hit that like and subscribe. I appreciate you all. Thank you. Have a great day.